I love the fact that you're articulating in your book those options and how the transition can occur. It really offers people a lot of guidance. And I think when things are really tricky and hard and painful, having some guidance to say, is that right for me? It's such a good resource. Thank
And
you.
that was really our hope with that, because I think we've all had those experiences guiding couples through this, and just we're individuals and knowing how difficult it is and how scary it is. And for some of the resources we really had, it was a bit confusing how to navigate this process and how a couple would navigate this process. And we're asking them to do this really big, scary thing, and there's not really a safety net there. And so the book has a lot of information in it. And one of the reasons why it has a lot is because we wanted it to be supportive in sort of every step they're taking. And I would say, along with that, if they're working with a therapist, the hope is that the therapist can be flexible and adaptable, right? Because there's just things that come up. I've worked with couples where it was clear that reintegration was on the table. We talked about reintegration and the partner just froze. I mean, went full into hypoarousal. That was a pretty clear indication that maybe we're not so ready for reintegration, right? And had we ignored that sign, it could have been really unhelpful for them. But by being flexible and saying, okay, we don't have to get right back into reintegration, we have options. I think that really helped the couple move in the direction they needed to.
That was a question I had, Stevie, is if a couple is going to buy the book, can they do the chapters on their own, right? Like, so do they have to have a therapist to start this process?
They don't have to have a therapist. Of course, in the ideal scenario, there would be two individual therapists and a couples therapist, or at least two individual therapists. But we understand that's just not the case for everyone. So we did write the book where it could be used outside of the therapeutic process, and we still try to keep it very therapeutic. We do recommend that a lot of the reflection exercises are processed with a third party. So, we say a therapist or a sponsor or a leader that you trust. Like, it might be someone in the church, it might be someone in another group that you're in. Some people are in leadership groups, but just being able to have someone who can be a mirror to you in that process is helpful. So it's definitely possible to do it. I would say in that case, if someone is not in a therapeutic process, the boundaries need to be very clear for
Mhm.
everyone. We don't want to get into doing boundaries halfway, because that creates ambiguity, and then we're just going to an ambiguous separation.
And Stevie, where can they get the book?
So you can buy it online. You can buy it through General Path, who published the book. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy it from Barnes and Noble. I'm sure there are some other book places, but those are the ones I know the most.
That's great. And this may be a strange question, but if they have questions about the book and they don't have a therapist, is there a way that they can consult with you or reach out to you? Do you do that?
Yes, absolutely. Lindsey and I have both had people reach out to us. So my direct email is Stevie, Stevie, at arisedallas.com. Lindsey's is Lindsey at pecancounseling.com. And then we have a website called therapeutic separations.com, where you can get information about the book. You can also contact us there. And so that would be a third option. And usually when someone reaches out, one of us is able to connect them with a resource or information, and we're happy to do that.
And
Yeah.
if
Well,
people are looking for the book, what is the exact title?
therapeutic separation. And then the subtitle is a workbook for couples facing,
Addiction. Yes.
yeah.
Thank you. We changed the subtitle right before publishing. So before, I think it was like a guide for couples. And so I always forget which one it is. Is it a workbook or a guide?
It definitely is a workbook. Yeah.
As we're getting closer to wrapping up, I was curious, for as you've gotten a chance to implement this more with couples, is there anything that you're finding, like any kind of wisdom for those out there that you're finding from the couples you're working with that's been helpful and supportive in the workbook, or surprises for you?
Yes, I would say because the therapeutic separation is so structured, it's really meant to create safety and it's meant to be collaborative. Both partners come together to create it. But what I see sometimes is that the therapeutic separation might be used in a hostile way and in a very rigid way. And that can be really harmful because it's not meant to be used in that way. We do want to keep boundaries. And I recommend that to my couples a lot. Go back to the agreement, stay with the boundaries until we revisit them and you need to change them. But if you're trying to change them on the fly, you're trying to do something new, that is not going to be helpful. We're creating ambiguity. And so I would say, even though there's a lot of structure here, it's really meant to be a collaborative process. It's meant to create a healing space for both partners to accomplish what they hope to accomplish. It's not meant to be like a principle or an authority. It's not meant to oppress anyone or make the process harder. It's meant to be safe. So I always encourage couples to honor what they've created and to allow it to create that space. But sometimes I do see that couples can get into using it like a weapon between them, and that is just very unhelpful.